Hi, Paige here. Today is, what's today? Tuesday, June 17th, 2025. I want to jump on. I've been posting more frequently lately just because I'm enjoying it. It's nice to connect with you guys. And yeah, so Tuesday is one of my days off. It's a day that I do a lot of like just chore type stuff with the van and such. It was definitely time for a car wash. When my windshield gets to where even the washer fluid and the thing doesn't quite get it clean enough, that's when I know it's time to go to the car wash. So did that. That's a whole thing, but got it done. And I have to do the manual, the manual where you hold the sprayer and the scrub brush and all that, because as of yet, I've not found the kind of car wash that pulls you through tall enough for the van. Did that, and then now my cat and I are at a campground. I am crocheting. So on Father's Day, I went and visited my father. And he's doing as well as can be expected. He's 92. He lives on his own. He's physically very healthy, but he's having memory issues. But as long as things go smooth, he has a routine. He's able to drive. He drives way faster than me. Of course, in the van, I can't drive fast at all. But yeah, I mean, he's very healthy. He walks every day, a little short 20-minute walk, 15-20-minute walk. Gets to the grocery store, that kind of thing. So that it was nice to just check in on him, visit him, hang out. I think I was there for about an hour and 15 minutes. And then he normally goes to his local library on Sunday afternoons and reads the paper. So I left by, I think it was by like 11:30 in the morning, which I think his library opens around noon. Yeah, anyway. So while chatting, I had my crossbody bag that I made recently, and I just showed it to him. I said, this is what I do with my time, crochet. And he goes, oh, you made that? And I said, yeah, it's over there. I can't reach it, but I've shown it. It's a granny square using embroidery floss, 2 granny squares. And he goes, oh, I would love to have like a little something to put my, if I have like a hot, mug of something or something. I'm like, oh, like a coaster? You want a coaster? He goes, yeah, I'd love a coaster. He goes, could you make me one and mail it to me? I said, absolutely. A coaster, yeah. So he used to be a bird watcher. Not anymore, but he used to be a bird watcher, and he would, mark down the birds that he spotted and all like that. So I said, yeah, I can make you a coaster with a bird motif on it. He goes, oh, that'd be great. So I thought it'd be pretty easy to find, like a square, like a graph can or something, of a little bird motif. Eventually I found on Repeat Crafter Me, Sarah Zimmerman, she has a corner to corner square of a little sparrow. So the background is blue, and then the sparrow is like a bird red. It's like a warm brownish red with a white tummy, and then it has a little yellow beak. And I thought, that's perfect. So I'm using embroidery floss because I want it to be all cotton, and I don't want to have to buy materials for it because I've got plenty of embroidery floss that I need to use up. So it's a corner to corner, and I watched Terry of the Yarn Joy podcast. She has a corner to corner tutorial, maybe more than one, but of how to, you know, do corner to corner when there's a motif and you've got to change colors. So I'm like, okay, I get it. I really like her. That tutorial is really good. I'll link it in the description. So I was like, okay, I'm excited. I'm going to do this corner to corner coaster square with the bird motif. Well, I find that because it's so tiny, like I'm using a, let me see what size hook this is. This is a 2.5 millimeter. I probably should go down to a 2, but it's too late now. It's kind of gapey, but that's okay. I'm doing an orange background, and then I'm going to do a blue bird with a white belly. I was finding that the flipping and slip stitching and, you know, blah, 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 the corner to corner, it just, working this small, it was fiddly, too fiddly. So I'm like, okay, let me just do, where you do, well, I was doing half double crochets. You could do single crochets, and then when there's an element of the motif, you switch colors, then you go back to the background, you know, like that. And that's fine with like worsted weight acrylic, because it's easy to carry your yarn and hide your tails and stuff. But with this loose of a stitch, and it's embroidery floss, and it's thin and slippery and doesn't hold on to, you know, tails very well or carry the yarn very well, I nixed that plan. And so now what I'm trying is I'm going to do the whole square with different shades of orange, because I don't have enough of any one shade, different shades of orange and deep dark yellow for the background. And then I'm going to use the blue and like probably do, like, this is all 6 strands of the embroidery floss. I'll probably double or triple that amount and cross stitch the motif. I wish I could show it to you. Let me see if I can get it on here. Oops, sorry. Yeah, here it is. That's the motif. So wherever it's blue, I'm doing orange, and wherever it's reddish orange, I'm doing blue. And then I'll do the white where it's white, yellow, and then black for the eye. But I'm just going to cross stitch the bird motif over the orange. So I'll show you how that comes out. But that's Sarah Zimmerman's Repeat After Me. That's her bird, corner to corner bird motif. I'll link that in the description as well. It's very cute. She also has a little birdhouse motif to go with it. So that's what I'm doing. I was working on the frog. Now I've gotten sidetracked. This is how our whip list we don't get through it because little things come up, but I'm perfectly happy to do this. I seriously think if I worked on this all day, if my hands will let me, I could get it done, or at least mostly done today. Because right now it's only, well, it's noon. I don't know. So that's what I'm working on here. Watching YouTube. And what else? My cat, she's on her tie out, but I placed the tie out so that she can get in and out of the van, but not get around the tires, because if she were to go around the front tire or the back tire, I wouldn't be able to get under there and get her untangled. So I've figured out kind of how far out straight from the sliding door, how far out to place the tie out so that she can get in and out of the van. She just lays here in the opening, and she seems to really enjoy it. Oh yeah, so flies, summer and flies, that's what we have, don't we? I love these things. Where's the camera? They're from Dollar Tree, citronella incense sticks. They work great. They're big. And you light them and it keeps the bugs away. You just light one, usually just takes one. Look how thick. You get you get 6 in a package. They're for sticking out in the yard. You can stick them out in the grass. You see that? But I'm still figuring out a safe place to put mine where the cat won't get near it. But where, and then the ashes can fall and it doesn't cause a problem. But where the scent of it is close enough to my location, you know, where I am, that it does its job. So I'm kind of thinking in this window, yeah, somehow, I don't know. That's probably what I'll do after I get off here. Whoops, sorry, I've got my camera in my wire phone holder thing. So yeah, that's what is happening there. So let's see, today's June 17th. 4th of July is on a Friday this year. And my daughter, who lives in LA, is coming up. And we're going to celebrate. So it'll be me, my daughter who's coming up, my other daughter who's married and has 2 little girls that lives in the same county as I live in. Her husband, 2 little girls, my sister's husband, my nephew that I tutor, and then my youngest son and his new wife. They got married in June. They live in the same county. They both work full time, and on the weekends they go and do fun stuff. So I actually don't see them very often, but we'll probably see them on 4th of July. So I'm looking forward to that. So that's, let's see, this coming Friday, so 18 is the 20th, right? Yeah, June 20th. So 2 weeks from, so my daughter will come up Thursday the 3rd, and she'll stay with my other daughter. They have a spare bedroom. Because first thing in the morning, our town has a pancake breakfast downtown, which I doubt, she's not a morning person, that daughter. But the parade is at 10, So yeah, she's gonna get up here and stay the night up here and then be here for the festivities. And then fireworks. Somewhere I saw there are towns like in Italy that have transitioned from fireworks. Which, why would Italy have fireworks? Maybe they have a holiday where they use fireworks. I mean, every country has fireworks, but you know what I mean? They don't celebrate 4th of July. But anyway, maybe New Year's. They've transitioned to drone shows for the sake of the animals. I feel so bad for the wildlife and the pets. We used to, my ex, when we were still married and raising the kids and stuff, his dad's dog, our dog, would jump a 5-foot gate on 4th of July night and run away, and would come back the next morning after there were no more explosion sounds. But it was just so sad. That dog was a part shepherd, part, I'm not sure what the other part was, but it was it was a large dog. He was a sweetheart. Yeah, so I feel bad for animals with the fireworks, but hopefully eventually drone shows will be the thing for firework celebrations. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. And something I realized a few years back, I think I posted on Facebook about it, but something I realized, anticipation of upcoming holidays, family gatherings, you know, that kind of thing, is almost just as good, if not just as good, as the actual thing, the actual event, because we're feeling the feels of it. And there can be times when, you know, the special event or the holiday or whatever rolls around and we're experiencing it, but we're preoccupied, or we're not feeling well, or, you know, we're not fully experiencing it for one reason or another. And so with the anticipation, to me, that's just as fulfilling and enriching as the day itself, the time itself. Not that the actual holiday gathering event could be replaced by anticipation, because there can't be anticipation without an actual thing to anticipate, right? But yeah, so I love looking forward to things like that too. To me, that's just as rich, and you know, it's just as, I don't know, it brings me as much joy as the actual day itself. So yeah, that's all I can think of. I always forget to make notes before I turn the camera on so that I can not forget something that I had thought of sharing. But yeah, so I'm just I'm doing half double crochets, and I'll make my square, and then I will cross stitch the bird motif on there, and hopefully I'll remember to show you guys. I'm watching a recent video posted by Elise Rose Crochet, She's talking about granny squares. What's the title of the video? The Ultimate Granny Square Guide. And one of the things she talked about was the all-in-one granny, and how she didn't like it so much because she was having a hard time ending her round at the right point in the yarn where it changed colors. Well, I made this is all-in-one granny. The border is just it's all-in-one granny, the border, but I didn't, I just let it play out. But the squares are, the granny squares are, I figured out how to do all-in-one granny, easy peasy. And you don't have to worry about landing at the right point in the yarn. Easy peasy, okay? And I'm going to do a tutorial because I plan on making a pillowcase for one of my pillows with some more of that in a different colorway. But I'm not there yet because I just want to work on my whip list for a while. So I'll do a tutorial on this easy peasy method, but I'm going to explain it here. Because a lot of you will understand what I'm saying, but if you don't, then just watch for the tutorial coming up here sometime in the future. Maybe not till the fall, but what I figured out is if you downsize your hook size enough to where you always have color left at the end of your round, what I did, and I mean it just took all the stress out of it, was I just slip stitched until the color changed, and then wherever I was on the round when the color changed in the yarn, then I started that round with, I chained, I can't remember if I was chaining 2 or 3, to do the first double crochet. Yeah, and then I don't know, it just worked out. I mean, it just took all the stress out of it. Where is this messed up? Okay. No worries. Just downsize your hook to where you're always going to end up with, some of that color you're working with left, and slip stitch until the color changes. Then chain 2 or 3 or however many you chain for a double crochet. Everyone's different there. And start that color round. And then, so it makes a slightly thicker thing, but because you're working into the spaces when you do granny stitch, it doesn't matter. You're not working into those slip stitches. Because the granny stitch, you're always working into spaces, not stitches. So yeah, not a problem. Let's see if I can find a spot where, okay, right here. This cluster is regular. This cluster has slip stitches. It feels a little thicker, but you can't even tell. I mean, you have to be an experienced crocheter to even notice that. And there's no way. You can't tell that there's slip stitches right here. Okay? So that's what you need to do. And I'm going to do a tutorial on that. But it's going to be a bit before I do that. So I love all-in-one granny. Love it. Yeah. And I'm just so glad that I figured out that hack, for making it 100% stress-free. Another nice thing about that technique too, I just remembered, I'm glad I remembered. So, and I don't know if they've fix that issue, but in the beginning, and it was the case with the skeins that I got, when you got to the end of the 5th round, there wasn't much left for a tail to weave in, because the granny squares have to be made separate, you know, separate. So you need a tail to weave in. But with that hack, you're going to have a tail at the end of the granny square, at the end of the last round. So it's perfect. It's a great way to do that. All right. Just wanted to add that because I closed out my video that I just filmed and said bye, but I'm going to edit that out and tack this on. So now I'm saying bye. Okay. Take care. Thanks for watching.